People around our area used to slow down their cars just to make sure they were seeing things correctly. A large dog running happily across the field with a tiny deer trotting right behind him like it was the most normal thing in the world. Some people would even laugh and ask, wait, is that really a deer and a dog walking together? And honestly, if I hadn't witnessed the story from the very beginning myself, I probably wouldn't have believed it either. It all began in the middle of June 2021 on our small organic farm surrounded by forests and open fields in the quiet countryside. We were outside doing chores when we suddenly noticed a mother deer near the garden behind our house. Beside her was a tiny fawn. At first, we didn't dare get close. Mother deer often leave their babies hidden somewhere safe and return later, so we simply watched from a distance. The little fawn lay curled up in the grass, barely moving at all. The mother lingered nearby for a while, then disappeared back into the woods. We thought she would return soon, but hours passed. Then evening came, and the mother deer only appeared one more time. After that, she never came back again.
So.
I still remember the uneasy feeling we had that day. The little fawn was incredibly weak. She would only crawl out from her hiding spot to drink water before collapsing back down again. One of her legs had a slight limp and her tiny body trembled like she had been exhausted for far too long. Honestly, we were afraid she wouldn't survive.
Lea, hör aufführen, ha? Süßes. Miri.
And then Leo showed up. Leo had lived with us on the farm for years. He was gentle, calm, and had this unusual instinct to care for smaller animals. But none of us expected what happened next to become something so extraordinary. The first time Leo saw the fawn, he approached her very slowly. We were ready to call him back if she got scared. But instead, Leo lowered his head and gently licked the tiny deer as if he was saying, "It's okay now. You're safe." And the part that made my throat tighten was this: the little fawn didn't run away. From that moment on, Leo almost seemed to take on the role of a father. He lay beside the fawn every day, checking on her, following her around to see if she was eating or able to stand. If she tried taking a few shaky steps, Leo would slowly walk beside her like he was guarding her. We named her Lulu. What amazed us most was how quickly Lulu accepted Leo. Maybe in her wild little world, during the loneliest and most frightening moment of her life, Leo was the first living creature who made her feel safe. After only a few days, Lulu began growing stronger. She no longer stayed hidden in the corner of the yard all day. Instead, she started following Leo around the farm. And Leo patiently seemed to introduce her to everything like a devoted guide. Leo led Lulu out into the fields. He showed her the edge of the woods, the spots where she could drink water, the places where the morning sunlight warmed the grass, and even where the chickens liked to wander around. And Lulu followed closely behind him like a little child learning how the world worked. Little by little, they even started playing together. Their favorite game was chasing each other around the yard. Leo would run ahead while Lulu bounced behind him on her still clumsy legs. Sometimes Lulu would leap into the air in excitement, and Leo would turn back to look at her with an expression I can only describe as proud. Those moments changed the atmosphere of the entire farm. There was something deeply peaceful about watching two animals from completely different worlds bond so naturally. As time passed, Lulu became braver and more independent. She started exploring the woods and fields on her own without needing to follow Leo everywhere. Sometimes she would disappear into the forest for hours before returning to the yard, almost as if she just wanted to make sure her family was still there. But deep down, we always knew Lulu was a wild animal. No matter how much we loved her, we never wanted to turn her into a pet. The best thing we could do for her was help her become healthy and confident enough to return to the life she truly belonged to. And eventually, that day came. Lulu began making friends with other deer in the forest. She spent more and more time in the wild and visited the farm less often. But every time she returned, the very first thing she did was look for Leo. The part that touched me most was the way they recognized each other from far away. The moment Lulu spotted Leo in the field, she would stop and stare. Sometimes she would even run back toward us for a few minutes before returning to the woods with her deer family. During hunting season, we put an orange collar on Lulu to help protect her. And every time I caught a glimpse of that bright collar moving through the trees, I remembered the tiny, fragile fawn who once lay trembling in our garden. Lulu now belongs to nature. She has her own life, her own kind, and her own path to follow. But I truly believe she still remembers where she grew up. She still remembers the dog who taught her that the world wasn't only filled with fear. And maybe that's what Lulu changed in us the most. She made us see nature differently, not as something separate from human life, but as a world filled with emotion, connection, and trust.